Okay, so now we're going to multiply radicals. We can't forget simplifying though. So we'll multiply and then at the end we might have to simplify. Keep that in mind. Okay, so multiplying radicals is not any more difficult than anything else. Okay, the two things under, so notice we have 6 under the radical and 12 under the radical. Those are called radicands, by the way, if you'd like some fancy vocabulary. If the two numbers are both under radicals, then we can multiply them. So this is the square root of 72. Whoops, that's supposed to be a 7, okay? But we can simplify 72, okay? You're gonna need to simplify if whatever is the radicand is, whatever's under the radical, basically if it's not a prime number. There are a few others you will learn, like 10 can't be simplified. 8 can be. So you'll learn as you go, as we do more and more, and you kind of start to get the same numbers. But 72 can be simplified, and 72 is one that we will simplify a lot. So if you can remember what it is, then you don't necessarily have to do the process the whole time if you start to learn what each thing is. For example, radical 8 is really 2 radical 2. I know that because I've simplified it a million times over the years. So 72, what goes into 72? I kind of feel like we did 72 in the last video. 72, 9, right? Yes, so 8 and 9. So that gives us 2 and 4 and 3 and 3. And 4 is 2 and 2. So that gives us a pair of 3s, a pair of 2s, and then a leftover 2. So we have 2 pairs, so we need to multiply 3 times 2 and get 6 and put it outside. And then we have a 2 left over on the inside. So that 2 went inside, the pairs multiplied goes outside. And so that's our answer. Now, on this guy, you'll notice that we've got a 4 outside and a 20 inside. Okay, we can't multiply 4 times 20 and get 100. That doesn't work that way. Okay, but we can multiply whatever's outside with whatever's outside, and then whatever's inside with whatever's inside. So 4 times negative 2 would be negative 8, and 20 times 10 would be 200. And then we can simplify 200. So I'm going to change colors again. So 200 would be 2 times 100. Again, you could do 4 and 50 or however you want to do there, 10 and 20, whatever works for you. 100 is 10 times 10. 10 times 10, 10 is 2 times 5 twice, right? Careful, you got to do them both times, right? And so that gives us a pair of 5s, if you will, and a pair of 2s, if you will, and a leftover 2. So 5 times 2 would be 10 outside. Whoops. And that 2 left over would be inside. But you have this negative 8 out here that you have to multiply by your 10. So it's really negative 80 radical 2. If you need to, go back and listen to that again. So on this one, we have a negative 5 outside, but there is nothing outside here. It's like a 1, just like with an X or whatever. So that means we have negative 5 outside. And then we have 200 inside. Well, we just did 200, right? We don't need to do it all over again. We know that radical 200 is 10 radical 2. So we can go ahead and do negative 5 times 10 radical 2. So that gives us negative 50 radical 2. Don't forget what numbers you might do more often, like 72, 12, 8. You're going to simplify those all the time. Don't be afraid to just say, hey, I know what that is. As long as you know the process of simplifying, you don't have to re-simplify and show all that work every time if you just did. So here we've got negative 3 with nothing, so we've still got negative 3. And 3 times 15 is 45. So let's simplify 45. That would be 9 times 5. Or you know it's 3 times 15, right? So you could always use that because that's what you just multiplied to get 45. So you know that 3 times 15. Actually, let's do that. So you know that 3 times 15 works. Okay? So 3 is prime, but 15 is 3 times 5, right? I keep putting my dots because it looks like I wrote 35. Okay, and so that gives us a pair of 3's. So we've got 3 radical 5 for our radical 45, but we've then got that negative 3, so it's really negative 9 radical 5 as our answer. Ask questions in class.